Paul, you've said it a few times this season, sometimes find a way, but that was finding a way whilst being solid and some decent football as well.
Yeah, I mean, I've got to say to start, it was really, really difficult conditions to play in today. It was a hell of a swirly wind. That is as cold as I've been for a long time. It was a tough day, but they showed proper resilience to stay in the game against a side who cause you problems. They really do. They've caused us problems today. We've had a little bit of luck as well. We're lucky at the end there when they've hit the post and things didn't quite go their way. First half, I was just wanting us to get through to half time and still be at 0-0, and then when Deno pops up with that, I thought it was a brilliant finish, a proper goal scorer's finish. Great awareness, good little deft touch, and thankfully it bounces the right side of the post. So the first half was really important to get in, to still be at least level, but to go in with one goal was a real bonus, and I just then hoped that the second half would be better, and I do think we were better second half in the way that we played. We had a bit more control about us after that.
I mean, the goal was brilliant when it came, but the theme of that first half was not heads didn't drop. Things weren't going right because of the conditions and other factors, but heads didn't drop and they did keep going.
Yeah, of course they did. And you know what? Credit to the fans as well, because it would have been easy for them to boo and to get disappointed. Although they didn't make a lot of noise first half, they didn't actually get negative, which I thought was really positive as well. You know, that's important that they stay with us because it wasn't a great day for football. Thankfully, I just felt there was a bit of rustiness in the first half, which maybe comes from having 2 weeks without a game. Although I think we've tried to put a plan together that will get us ready for this game. It's not easy, and I thought there was that rustiness, but thankfully second half where we got through that first 45 minutes, that we then started to get the ball down and pass it, and we had some good bits of play. And then the second goal is a fantastic strike, a great bit of football from us to get the ball up. Firstly from Deno to go and challenge and to win that and to have the calmness to find JK on the left-hand side, and then that's his area, that's where he wants to go 1v1 with players. I have to say, I normally see him stepping on his right foot and hit things, but to go down the line and to strike, it was a brilliant finish, and that will do him the power of good to help him settle in at the club.
I mean, he really did come alive when that pass came to him in that position. You could see he knew what he was doing. There was a check, there was a sprint, there was a burst, then a finish.
Yeah.
Excellent.
No, when he gets players faced up 1v1, he's a handful, because he's shown there he can go inside, he can go down the line. And, you know, I was a little bit concerned that I was asking a bit too much of him, putting him in today. But to get that goal was brilliant for him. It'll make him feel on top of the world tonight, and hopefully it's the first of many for us.
The lad's come all the way from London as he has, and he's probably had a few. Well, the other options were there. He's had a few thoughts about what am I doing. What a way to settle in for him.
Well, I think when you go into a new football club, you know, people, the rest of the players all look and think, oh yeah, a young kid coming from a Premier League club, I wonder what he's going to be like. You get your street cred when you do it out on the grass, and I thought he got that today, and he's earned his stripes out there with the way he's gone about it. Because we'll all talk about the goal, but there was bits in the first half where he's having to track back and make tackles, and he's recovering back into shape and stuff like that, which you don't always get out of academy players. So he's done the ugly side of the game, and he's kept us in it, and along with everybody else, and then he's got his reward with that. And I always had it in my mind that it might just be 60-65 minutes for him, so thankfully I was able to get him out of it. Brilliant to get Amari back into the picture as well and get him running again, and hopefully we're going to give ourselves options moving forward.
Best of Welsh man of the match as well. How big a decision was it, Paul, to decide that he's just got here but he's going to start?
Yeah, it was a big call really, because you know the way that the three new lads have all worked, Alfie, Jack Robinson and JK, it was a tricky one, but I just felt that because of the shape that I wanted to play today, starting with the front three, I just felt that he was the best option for us, because I didn't think it was the right thing to start Amari. I wasn't expecting to get 65, 70 minutes out of Maz, so it was more about trying to get 20, 25 for him and build him up, because he's going to be a really important player for us between now and the end of the season.
What will it mean for a 19-year-old lad to do that on his debut in front of 5,500 Carlisle fans?
Brilliant for him. And if he did have any doubts about coming north, because I've got to say, he travelled up on Thursday with his agent, and it was horrendous conditions when he got here, so he's seen nothing but rain, really cold conditions. Today's not been a great warm day, so he must be thinking, what am I doing? But it's about, one of the things I said to him last week when I met him down in London, and I said, look, this is about football, this is about you doing what's right for your career. You know, you can come and be on a stage here in front of over 5,000 fans for each of our home games, getting 500 to 1,000, 1,500 away fans at our games. And that's where you earn your bread and butter stuff. And he's made a brave decision as well, because he could have stayed and had his family comforts at home, but he's come up here. And my big thing for him is not only to go and get a feeling for what first team football is like, but go and grow up as a person as well. And that's what we've got to try and help him, because he will have some tough times being away from home, but we're here to help him and hope he can sort of develop as a footballer and also as a bloke.
You mentioned him already at the other end of the age spectrum, the 50-year-old Chris Dennis, 15 for the season. He just keeps doing it for us, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. A great finish. I mean, he's worked his socks off there. Absolutely brilliant. Bit of a lone role for him today, but he's kept going. He's a pest. He just gets in people's hair, and he's always in and around things when they're bobbling around in the box. So no, I'm delighted for him, and he's just got to keep it going. He's got to keep scoring goals and keep us going the way we are.
We mentioned the discipline as well. That second half, that's what it was all about. They had their chances. They're bound to get chances, a team like that, but we kept our discipline and we looked good for the clean sheet.
Yeah, we did. I'd say we were a little bit lucky as well. One of the things I've just said to them in there, if we really want to push on and be better and be harder to play against, we have to just maybe work that extra 1 or 2 yards and get closer to stop crosses coming in, because we had an opportunity to stop the cross out on their right hand side and we didn't, and it comes in and they're able to get the shot, and that little bit of luck when it comes off the post and we're in a position to clear it. I just think we can work that little bit harder to stop crosses, especially against a team like that who are a real handful. That's probably me just being picky, but that's the way we have to be, because we want to be better. On another day, it might not bounce to our player and we clear it, and we've then got, I think that was about 86, 87 minutes. We then got 3 or 4 minutes plus stoppage time of 3 minutes where it could have been a proper tin-hat job and not really necessary. So there are things that we can always improve on. Thankfully, we've got a really, really big result against a tough side to play against, and it keeps us up in a good position.
You said to James on Radio Cymru before the game that you'd tell us at 5 o'clock whether the break was a benefit or not. How do you feel about that now, having seen it?
Now, yes, I would say it was. At half-time, I didn't think it was, because I thought it was a really, not poor, but a tough first half, where we didn't really play, we didn't get ourselves going. I've got to say, I thought we looked a bit nervous first half as well. But maybe it was just that rustiness. I think the players should take real pride and great belief after what's happened out there today, because that's a tough game to come through. And you come through with 2 goals, come through with a clean sheet, and hopefully we'll get a lot of enjoyment out of it.
And picking that 18, you said you don't lose sleep out of it because you have to do that, but there's lads now not involved. How easy is it to keep them happy, Paul?
Well, that's the challenge we've got between now and the end of the season, to keep them all happy. I do want to bring at least 1 more player in, possibly even more, depending on the finances. So we have to accept that not everybody can be involved in the 18. I had a chat with Jaden before the game, because he's unfortunate to miss out. I didn't think he did a lot wrong last weekend, 2 weeks ago. I see Jay as more of a bit of a long-term project for us, and hopefully he'll continue to develop. But I don't like leaving him out. You know, Ben Barkley's very close to coming back. And when we get more additions into the group as well, then there's going to be a few people out of it. But I've got to say, they're all the ones who are in the change room waiting to greet the players when they come back in. So there's no issue at the moment. We've just got to keep everybody going.
And Amari looked really lively.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he's been bursting to get out there. As I said, we have to do something to keep him available for us and keep him out on the grass. You know, and if we can just manage his programme, manage his minutes and get him fully up to speed, then hopefully we'll see a lot more of him.
Again, something you remind us, it means nothing right now, but right now it means a lot to the fans that we're fourth in the table after what's been a tough spell with injuries and everything else, and it really does feel bright at the moment.
Yeah, no, it's really positive. It's a great position to be in. 21 games to go, 21 huge games, and if we can go and do it properly and do it as well as we've done the first 25, then who knows what can happen. But that's the challenge for us. It can very easily fall away. The table's still really tight. We have to just keep doing our jobs. I look at games that have gone away from us. You know, I've had another apology from PGMOL that Toby's goal at Northampton should have stood, and maybe that's 1 point more for us and 2 less for them, and all these ifs and buts. And that's the fine margins that we're working to. We've just got to keep battering away at everybody, make sure we keep working hard, stay as professional as we possibly can, and hope that the results keep coming.
We covered injuries, we covered the transfer window in depth yesterday, Paul, so I'll leave that till next week. I'm sure the other guys will cover that. A couple of last ones from me. First one, I can't believe I missed this. As somebody who's working with you on getting your details down on paper. Bradford game, 200th Carlisle game as a manager.
For me?
You presume.
Oh, is it? Wow.
Unbelievable, isn't it?
I can't believe I'm that old. Wow, brilliant. Yeah, I must admit I don't really look at things like that. I've no idea how many games I've managed, but no, that's brilliant. When I started off and got offered the job at Rochdale as a player manager, I didn't really know if I wanted to do it, to be perfectly honest with you. I was quite comfortable doing Blackburn Rovers under 8s and taking that, so it's I suppose it's a real big achievement. Let's hope I can get a hell of a lot more.
I think the first time round it was 150 odd from memory right now, and it's been just a feeling of success all the time. What is it about this job and you that seems to work?
I think if anybody's got a good memory, they'll remember that the first 30 or 40 weren't success because we got relegated. But no, it's been good. I come into the football club when it had some problems in 2003, and we were able to turn things around there with, you know, not just me but John Courtney to start with, but then an absolutely brilliant job that Fred Story did. So, you know, Fred deserves a hell of a lot of credit for what he did at that time. Then this time round I come in and, you know, the club hadn't really gone forward since I left in 2006. They've had ups and downs, and we're still working to try and improve the place. I will continue to work to improve it as much as we possibly can, and hopefully when the day comes that they take me out of here for whatever reason, I hope I leave it in a better place than I found it.
And finally, we have touched on them, but it is roughly 5,500 home fans here today. They're sticking with us in numbers. That's so important.
Oh, it's brilliant, absolutely fantastic, because you know, I'm sure there was a lot of them who've looked at the fire and thought it'd be a really nice thing to sit in front of the fire and watch results coming in today, but thankfully they've come out and they've supported us, and we go away with them all happy because we've got a 2-0 win and get them ready for the next one.
Paul, thank you.